when it comes to nutrition specifically, a lot of the best research is not necessarily coming from the United States because we allow things in our foods that other countries don't. You know what I mean? Like, I would want to know who the source is before saying, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And you don't get that with ChatGPT.
Welcome to Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jenn Trepeck, talking wellness and weight loss for real life. We're here to clear up the myths, misinformation, bad science, and marketing to teach you how to eat and how to cheat. Are you ready? I'm having salad with a side of fries.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. I'm your host, Jenn Trepeck, always here with you every week. If you're new around here, thank you for joining us. We're thrilled to have you. And joining me today on this side of the microphone is Summer.
Hello.
Welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you sound like you're like on phone line.
Well, hello.
Okay. So I have to tell you guys, Summer, first of all, you guys all have to know that like if I eat a home cooked meal, odds are it was made by Summer, whether it's leftovers or Friday nights at her apartment. So thank you for my food, Summer.
Anytime.
All right. So I'm thrilled to have you here for this episode because I want to talk about ChatGPT. It's the artificial intelligence platform. It operates like a chat. It's, what is it called? A large language model or something like that is the kind of artificial intelligence.
It's like your AOL chatting, AIM chatting with yourself
with
the
robot. Yeah. So to be clear, so the company that created ChatGPT is called OpenAI. OpenAI is also the company behind the AI large language model that Microsoft is putting into Bing, their search engine. That one is currently only available in like beta for a handful of users to test it. Like a lot of the media is getting that one. ChatGPT, though, is open to the masses, more or less. So if you've heard anything about, tech or business, or you follow those kinds of things in news, I feel like you've heard about it. You've been playing with it.
Yeah, I have. It's been really fun to play around with ChatGPT and see what kinds of things it can write for you for marketing material. It can write blogs. It can write captions for social media. It can even write website copy. And it pulls from all the sources that the internet has. So it's very interesting, everything that it pulls from. And it can even write it in different styles. So that's what I think is very cool about it. You could say, like, write me an essay about whatever thing in the style of Abraham Lincoln or in the style of Shakespeare or in the style of Eminem.
Right. Preach Eminem. Love him. Okay. So there's a lot of cool things that ChatGPT can do. And I think everybody is sort of experimenting with it. So I wanted to play with it and see what ChatGPT's take was on nutrition specifically. I first started nutrition and wellness, and then it was too much. So I took it back. We're going to focus on nutrition. And so we asked ChatGPT a few questions, and then I'll give you, what I would say, speaking from the health coach perspective and the salad with a side of fries approach. What do you think?
Great. I can't wait to see what it has to say.
All right. So really quick, let's tell everybody about our podcast membership. So members, your recipe this week is for homemade chicken tenders with everything bagel seasoning over salad. It might be one of my all-time favorite recipes that I have ever sent you. And the breading uses just a little bit of flour and then panko. So it's going to be super crispy. You can use whatever everything bagel seasoning you like. And I should probably mention, this is a full meal in 25 minutes. So it's a good one. And since it is the last month of the quarter, it's time for your live Q&A. So I'm doing this as a one-on-one. So your email on Friday will have the link to schedule a time that's convenient for you. I'm traveling a bunch in March. I feel like a lot of people are traveling a bunch in March. So there are times available in April. You just have to book it before the end of March. So if you want this recipe or if you want to hop on the phone, just you and me, so you can influence what we talk about here. You can ask your personal questions or share whatever's on your mind. Be sure you're a member. So you go to glow.fm/salad with a side of fries. For $10 a month, you get weekly recipes, a monthly article or tool, extra discounts for me and our partners, plus access to live Q&A sessions. Actually, yes, all of this for just $10 a month. I say it every time, but it is a no-brainer way to show yourself that your health is a priority. Plus, being a member supports this podcast and this community so that we can continue to bring you new episodes and experts every single week. So remember, you're going to glow.fm/salad with a side of fries, or just click the link in the show notes because that's easier. Once you're there, you click support now, enter your email and payment method, click subscribe, and you're all set. You'll get this week's recipe for the homemade chicken tenders with everything bagel seasoning over salad, and your quarterly live session, which is a one-on-one, just you and me. All right, Summer, ChatGPT.
All right. What are we asking first?
First question I asked, and by the way, I did these ahead of time because you've had trouble getting on it, right?
Yeah, sometimes it's down. It says it's overloaded. It became so popular that so many people are often on it that it can't handle all of it. So I think they have a paid subscription now that you can always get on. But if you're not a paid member, then you can only get on when it's available.
Oh, well, luckily we did it ahead of time. So that won't be a problem for us today. So first question I said is, what's your best nutrition advice? I'm just going to read what it said and then we'll do the commentary on it because I don't know. It'll just be easier that way. So ChatGPT says, my best nutrition advice is to focus on eating a variety of whole nutrient-dense foods in appropriate portions. Here are some specific tips to help you improve your nutrition. 1, eat a balanced diet. Try to include a mix of protein, healthy fats, carbohydrates, and fiber in each meal. 2, focus on whole nutrient-dense foods. This includes fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean protein sources, and healthy fats. 3, limit processed and sugary foods. These foods can be high in calories and low in nutrients and can contribute to weight gain and chronic diseases. 4, drink plenty of water. Staying hydrated is important for overall health and can also help you feel full and satisfied. 5, listen to your body. Pay attention to your hunger and fullness cues, and try to eat when you're hungry and stop when you're satisfied. 6, avoid fad diets. Instead, focus on making sustainable lifestyle changes that you can maintain over the long term. Remember, good nutrition is not just about restricting certain foods or following strict rules. It's about nourishing your body with the nutrients it needs to thrive, while still enjoying a variety of foods in moderation.
I'm impressed. A lot of that is pretty good advice.
Yeah. Like, nothing's patently wrong. What irritates me about it is that it is everything that is the problem with nutrition advice in this industry.
It's so generic.
Yeah. Like, try to include a mix of protein, healthy fats, carbohydrates, and fiber. But what are each of those things?
Yeah.
Right? Like, to me, that doesn't actually help somebody figure out what the meal is.
And what should the mix be? What should the balance be?
Exactly. Then when it talked about, whole grains, lean protein sources, and healthy fats, like if people knew those en masse, we wouldn't have the issues we have, right? And a lot of the things that say they're whole grain aren't actually. So then where does that leave us? Limit processed and sugary foods. I think to me, it's the same category of, I think people don't realize what they're eating that's sugary, or that even the packaged foods that are marketed to be healthy still qualify as processed foods.
Absolutely.
Or like all the plant-based meats, those are processed foods. But like,
people don't think about that.
Yeah. So the water thing irks me because, staying hydrated is important for overall health. Yes, but saying that isn't enough to get me to do it.
They need specifics.
Yeah, like what is it doing? Or what are the issues with dehydration?
Also, what does it mean to be hydrated? How much water should each person be drinking based on their weight or based on something else?
Right. And then what really irked me was can also help you feel full and satisfied. This is old diet culture, disordered behavior, eat less, feel full with water.
Yep.
Philosophy.
A lot of people used to push all those flavored waters.
Yeah.
Like, it will feel like a meal, 0 calories.
Right. Yeah. I did appreciate the, avoid fad diets.
Yes. Avoid fad diets, but follow all my fad diet advice.
Right. Exactly. And then listen to your body, right? Pay attention to hunger and fullness cues. Like, no offense, if that wasn't an issue for people, we'd be fine. Right? Like, there's so much more to that. Most people don't even know what it feels like to be satisfied and not over full.
Yeah, they don't wait long enough after they eat, so they just keep on eating.
Or, right, like we talk about it all the time, there are hormones connected to feeling hungry or satisfied. And the same way we can become insulin resistant, right? We know that to be diabetes. We can become resistant to where our body's not responding to the presence of those hormones. So like you might not be getting fullness cues, especially depending on what you eat. Because if you're eating a lot of those processed foods, the chemicals in those foods also turn off our brain's ability to know when we're full.
Yeah.
So like, if only, you know. So key takeaways on this part was, like you said, the individuality piece of it. Like there's a lot of us require different things. Like there are certain pieces that are human, sure, right? What they talked about are the pieces that are human, but they're not addressing that what everybody needs is a little bit different and helping you figure that out. I think the other piece to this is that it's not detailed enough and it doesn't give the how. I feel like this was like general platitudes that we've all heard before.
Yeah.
I don't know. The lack of nuance is why we're here. Right?
Yeah. I think that what makes working with a health coach so great is they look at you and your body specifically and what's going to work for your diet, for your hormones, for your age, for your body type, and your allergies, things like that. And you can make a plan specific for that person.
Exactly. And to that point too, one of the big things that we do is help people identify those patterns, identify those moments. What does it feel like to be hungry? What does it feel like to be full? You know, and like that's so much more than what ChatGPT made it sound.
Yeah.
All right. So I wanted to keep going with it. So the next question I asked it was, this was a question you gave me. How do I lose weight? What do you think it said?
I think it says eat less, exercise more.
Facts. Okay. So I'm not going to lie. It sort of annoys me that every question I give it, it gives me back a list of minimum 5 to 6 things with like every question. So, okay. So I said, right, typed in, how do I lose weight? To lose weight, this is quoting ChatGPT. To lose weight, a person needs to create a calorie deficit, which means consuming fewer calories than their body burns in a day. Here are some tips that can help you with weight loss. 1, eat a healthy, balanced diet. Focus on nutrient-dense foods such as fruits, vegetables, whole grains, lean protein sources, healthy fats. Avoid or limit processed and high-calorie foods. So essentially, it took things that it gave us before and put them all into one. Then portion control. Use smaller plates and be mindful of portion sizes to help reduce overall calorie intake. 3, track food intake. Keeping a food journal or using a food tracking app can help you stay aware of your calorie intake and make healthier choices. 4, be physically active. Incorporate regular exercise into your routine, aiming for at least 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity per week. 5, get enough sleep. Aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep each night. A lack of sleep can disrupt hormones that regulate appetite and metabolism. 6, manage stress. Stress can contribute to overeating and weight gain, so try to find healthy ways to manage stress, such as meditation, yoga, or deep breathing exercises. Remember, healthy weight loss is gradual and sustainable. Aim to lose 1 to 2 pounds per week through a combination of healthy eating and physical activity. It's also important to consult with a healthcare professional before starting any weight loss program. Okay, sigh. What's your take before I say anything?
Again, it's so generic.
Yeah. Okay. So first of all, like we said before, it took some of the things from our first question and just gave it to us all in one bullet point. I love that it included sleep and stress in the equation. By the way, the comment on consult with your healthcare professional is, like an FDA requirement. Yeah. Like we have to say that. Again, it's missing the how for any of these. Mm-hmm. The emphasis on aerobic activity is a pet peeve, right? I think one of the biggest misconceptions is the importance of aerobic activity. Like you can get your heart pumping as a muscle with resistance training, and what's actually going to shift your metabolism long-term, like it's saying, gradual and sustainable, is building muscle.
I think most of the world does not know that.
Correct. And this just perpetuates it. And by the way, the 150 minutes of moderate intensity aerobic activity is straight from the textbooks of what, people are taught. I think the other thing on just fundamentally eat less, move more is also the textbook answer. But in practicality, what this has basically advised everybody to do is prioritize calories above everything else, right? The way it talks about portions and the way it talks about healthy eating, right? And tracking your food, like the way it even frames tracking is about awareness of calories So fundamentally, what will happen biochemically is that the number on the scale is going to go down.
Mhm.
But what people are losing is water, muscle, and if you go long enough, bone.
And I think they lose health too, because so many people, they're eating less calories or fewer calories, but the types of food that they're eating is not necessarily healthier for them.
Correct.
It's just fewer calories.
Exactly. And so we end up in this thing of what I like to call food-like substances, where it looks like food, it tastes like food, but our body can't identify it as food because there's actually no nutrition there. And so that's what happens, is that our body then uses its own muscle for fuel. And then it'll pull vitamins and minerals it needs from the bones in order to survive. Because like, you're not going to die eating fewer calories. You're not going to die eating these food-like substances, at least not quickly, right? It is actually the slowest, most painful death, but you know.
Yeah.
Tastes good? Question mark?
Sometimes.
I don't know. Yeah. You know, it's sort of heartening and disheartening all at the same time. Like, I appreciate that they added the sleep and stress. I appreciate that they gave some examples of stress management, tools. But I also, even the aim for 7 to 8 hours of sleep, like, we all know that. Like, I don't think anybody here is going, well, that's news.
Yep.
Right? Whether you listen to this podcast often or not, that's not news, right? But it's not helping us get there.
I think all of this is not news.
Correct. Right. So our next question was another one of Summer's, which was, how do I get a six-pack?
Not beer.
Not beer. Six-pack abs. I think when I wrote it into the chat, I think I did six-pack abs, because otherwise it would have given me instructions for finding a store. Right.
The liquor store is 4 blocks away on your left.
Right. Exactly. So I'm sure it can guess by now, it was a list of 5 things with a couple sentences before and a couple sentences after. So according to ChatGPT, here's how to get six-pack abs. Getting six-pack abs requires a combination of healthy diet, regular exercise, overall body fat reduction. Here are some steps you can take to work towards getting six-pack abs. 1, focus on healthy diet. Eating a diet that's rich in fruits and vegetables, lean protein sources, healthy fats can help reduce overall body fat, including abdominal fat. I'm trying to keep my own commentary out.
Same.
Okay. 2, reduce calorie intake. To lose body fat, you need to create a calorie deficit. This can be achieved through a combination of diet and exercise. 3, perform regular cardiovascular exercise. Cardiovascular exercise, such as running, swimming, or cycling, can help burn calories and reduce overall body fat. 4, incorporate strength training. Strength training exercises can help build abdominal muscles and increase overall muscle mass, which can help burn more calories and reduce body fat. 5, focus on core exercises. Exercises that target the abdominal muscles, such as crunches, planks, and bicycle crunches, can help build muscle in the abdominal area. Remember, getting six-pack abs takes time, effort, and dedication. It's important to focus on overall health and fitness rather than just one specific area of the body. It's also important to consult a healthcare professional before starting on any new exercise or diet program. So go ahead, you start.
90% of what I eat is fruits and vegetables. I don't have a six-pack.
Well, you don't do the workout part. No offense. I say that with love. You laugh because it's true. But so I appreciate that here they're finally talking about body fat, not just overall number on the scale.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I don't know if anybody else noticed this, but when it talked about a healthy diet here, it didn't talk about grains. Thank you. Finally, right? You guys, I'm not the biggest fan of grains because most of the grains are not great in our country, but here, the fruits, vegetables, lean protein, and healthy fat. Yes, all of those things are a yes. So that's just an interesting change from the answers it's been giving us. The calorie intake thing, I don't know. Like I said, at least they're talking about body fat percentage, right? And adjusting body composition there. I think the thing about cardiovascular exercise is, again, a little misguided, but it is what the typical things are going to tell you. And at least it does point out that, we can't just target one part of the body.
Yeah.
I don't know. Meh. I'm not so convinced that like the average person would read these and go, oh, problem solved.
So what would your advice be for somebody who really wants a six-pack?
Well, so we'd end up having a conversation about why you want a six-pack because there's probably something around the value we're putting on that. And the trade-off of what that takes, is that something you're willing to do? Because, you know.
So if it's something that someone's willing to put in the work and they know that it's going to take time, then what would your advice be of how they would get it?
So we're really focusing on lean protein, vegetables, quality fat. We're eating 0 grains. We're eating 0 dairy. There is more of an emphasis on cardio here, more for the dehydration factor, because you actually, in order to see it, like one of my old colleagues when I was a photo shoot producer, he was a male model who's been on the cover of Men's Health more than any other single model. And one of the big things that he would do before a shoot or a competition is dehydrate.
I think
so that it tightens your skin.
I think that's why I don't have a six-pack. I am just too hydrated.
That is exactly what it is. But it requires a massive commitment. Like there isn't room for flexibility if that's what we're necessarily looking for. And it's not how our body defaults. Mm-hmm. There are some people where that is their default. You know what I mean? Like they have naturally an amount of muscle. They have it in that area. There are genetics here that play a massive role. And so if that's not your predisposition, it requires a commitment that, you know, frankly isn't typical.
Are there some people that is their genetics and they don't really have to try at all and they just always will have a six-pack and they can eat whatever they want?
Yeah, I mean, at some point, things might change over time, right, with aging and hormone shifts and things like that. But also, yeah, I mean, it might not always be a six-pack when they're 70, right? But yeah, like there are some people who genetically just gifted.
Right.
Now, I do not have those genes. In the DNA test that I work with, it gives you like an obesity score out of 10, like your genetic propensity to obesity. I'm an 8.6.
Oh, wow.
Like one of my mentors was a former NFL player. He's also like 7 feet tall, not really, but almost. His genetic propensity to obesity was like 7.8. And I was like, my God, like really, I'm more likely to be obese than the giant football player.
Wow.
But again, it just pointed out to me that like if I didn't do all the things I do and learn everything I learned, that like I would be, right? And no wonder why at times in my life I felt like I would breathe and gain weight, because I probably was. Right. All right. So overall, I think I'm annoyed. I don't know what I expected, so I can't necessarily say I'm disappointed in the answers, but I guess I'm annoyed. I don't know. The other night when we were together and talking about this, somebody said to me, is it worse than Google? And I'm inclined to say yes, because at least with Google, it tells you the source. And you can say, oh, I want to listen to this source. I don't want to listen to that one. And when it comes to nutrition specifically, a lot of the best research is not necessarily coming from the United States, because we allow things in our foods that other countries don't. You know what I mean? Like, I would want to know who the source is before saying, you know, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And you don't get that with ChatGPT.
Absolutely.
And then I think, like we said before, the bio-individuality piece, that we're not all the same. There are specifics for each person, that it's not giving us the how of anything or the nuance of anything. You know, like I feel like to some degree, the information isn't actually actionable.
Yeah. It would be interesting if you wrote in and created a profile for a person and you said, like, I am 5'5" and I weigh this much, and you kind of tell ChatGPT more about yourself and see if it gives you different instructions on weight loss or nutrition based on your profile that you've told it you are.
All right, so that's everybody's homework, is put in your info and see if it gives you the same generics, right? The same information, or if it gets into the nuance, because I kind of think it won't, because the way it works is like it's built based on learning the information that's available on the internet.
But it also learns from what you tell it. So you can teach ChatGPT other things and it learns in your account. So the more you tell it in your account, it learns about you or about the person you're telling it about.
Yeah. Okay. So members, before you come to your one-on-one with me, put in your information into ChatGPT and let's go through it for you and see
if it's still generic or see if it gives you anything more actionable.
Yeah. And like you said before, I think in general, it makes the argument for working with a coach, for getting more targeted support, and for filling in those pieces of like, okay, I know what to do, but why aren't I doing it?
Yep.
So then from the things that I was hearing about ChatGPT, the more interesting stuff that I was hearing was people giving it commands rather than asking it questions. So that's where I went next. I had it write me a menu, a workout plan, and then you also, Summer, gave me another question, which was, what's the healthiest salad I can eat? Spoiler alert, the healthiest salad answer was basically what we just got, more or less. But we'll go through all those after a quick message from our partner for this episode. Big thanks to Lumiere de Vie Skincare. Lumiere de Vie was founded by Amber Ridinger McLaughlin in response to her own experience of mere marginal results from countless costly creams. She realized the revitalization of her youthful skin could only occur if she developed products herself. Working closely with beauty scientists and exploring the most advanced ingredients derived from the earth and sea, Amber created Lumiere de Vie, the next generation of skincare. The extensive line of luxury skincare products is designed to address all skin types and concerns, with the highest quality natural ingredients and powerful formulas that help heal, soothe, moisturize, and protect. Lumiere de Vie acts as first aid for your skin. The result? Rejuvenated, luminous, beautiful-looking skin. So this time of year, it is cold out. It's finally cold in New York. It's been like 55 degrees, but now it's finally cold and windy. So this is the time to think about some extra hydration. So I highly recommend the Lumiere de Vie Hydrate 3.0. This is a hyaluronic acid serum. The Lumiere Elixir is amazing. I think I've mentioned this before. I also put it on like my feet and my elbows, anywhere where there's dry skin, but you can also mix it into your moisturizer. Love it. That one also is only $44. So if it's time to upgrade your evening moisturizer, you might want to try the Intense Rejuvenation Cream, which is $62.50. And of course, by the way, all these prices are before your 10% off and free shipping for being a Salad with a Side of Fries listener. So to get this deal for yourself or someone you love, text the word SKIN, SKIN, to 844-947-4846. You'll receive the link and coupon code right to your phone. Again, simply text the word SKIN, SKIN, to 844-947-4846 to try Lumiere de Vie Skincare, get 10% off and free shipping. This is a toll-free number. Standard text and data rates may apply. Okay, so back to ChatGPT. I had it make me a menu, and I have to admit, this might be my favorite answer.
Ooh, what's on it?
So I asked it to make me a menu for a week. So it gave 3 meals and 2 snacks every day for 5 days. So Monday, it said breakfast, Greek yogurt with fresh berries and sliced almonds. Pretty good. You're probably going to need more protein than that. And, you know, depending on how somebody builds that, like that's probably more of a snack, but cool. It said the snack was apple slices with almond butter. Okay. Love it. Lunch is grilled chicken salad with mixed greens, cherry tomatoes, cucumber, and avocado. I like it. A little boring on the salad, but fine, whatever. Snack was carrots and celery with hummus. And dinner was baked salmon with roasted asparagus and quinoa.
Yum.
I mean, it sounds great. Like, doesn't give you quantities, which I'm actually not mad about because I think sometimes if those are the foods you're eating, you don't have to worry as much about the portion size. Like the portion size will more or less take care of itself. Like your body can tell when it's had enough salmon. Yeah. Your body cannot tell when it's had enough Pringles.
Why is that?
The chemicals in the foods and the way like packaged processed foods like Pringles or chips or cookies or all those things are designed to hit all the taste buds in the right way at the right time such that it leaves you craving more. They have chemicals that turn off our ability to know when we're full. And so it's also a function of when we start to eat, the first piece of digestion is saliva. So your body, like you start to salivate, it sends signals to the stomach that like food's coming. You give it Pringles. It goes, this isn't helpful. But now you've told it food's coming. So it starts to send you hunger signals because it's waiting for actual nutrition. And so then we just keep eating because our body's going, wait, I thought you were going to give me something I could do something with.
What about grains, pastas, breads, things like that? Is that the same as the chips, or is that more similar to like the fish or the vegetables?
Great question. And it depends because every package is different. So in general, like, so for example, one of the other days from the ChatGPT menu said whole grain pasta with tomato sauce, sauteed spinach, and grilled chicken. So whole grain pasta may or may not actually be made with whole grain. Like, you can read the label and, you know, if it's made from millet or barley, then it's, you know, made from a whole grain. If it's made with whole wheat flour, it's not a whole grain. So that's part of the problem of processed foods and what's allowed to be written on our food labels, what's allowed to be in our food. And so it complicates it for everybody. Like, the average person isn't going to know some of those things unless you're seeking out that information. So I pointed out in my notes, like the whole grain pasta, because I would rather it say a lentil pasta or a chickpea pasta or an edamame pasta.
Love a good edamame pasta.
I know. So, right, like, not to say we can't ever eat pasta, but especially if we're going to make it for ourselves at home, we can do better. You know, or not that the average person's going to do this, but buy the flour that's made from like the grains that are grown in Italy, which you can get, I think it's on Amazon. I can't remember. Like, you can get pizza flour that's made from ancient grain, and then probably won't have the same issues in your stomach. Like, I can go to Italy and eat pasta every day and be fine, but I can't here.
That's amazing.
So speaking of edamame, I just looked at Wednesday from ChatGPT. I'm having edamame as a snack. I liked it. There were a couple other things. I like another day had snack as banana and a handful of walnuts. Awesome. You know, one of the days it said lunch, turkey and vegetable wrap with a whole wheat tortilla and side salad. So the whole wheat tortilla is the same situation as the whole grain pasta, all those in air quotes for me.
Did you ask it to give you a menu or a healthy menu?
Oh, I said, write me a healthy menu for 1 week. I mean, like I said, this was, I think, my favorite answer. There was one day, you know, baby carrots with ranch dip. You know what I mean? Like, in the grand scheme of things, did we get here from our ranch dressing? No. But having said that, right, especially this is where a health coach comes in. If we're challenged by dairy, we don't want to be having the ranch dip. And there are other things that we could have that are going to actually give us nutrition versus ranch dip, because the baby carrots with ranch dip might last you an hour. Maybe.
What would you dip your baby carrots in instead?
You could do hummus. You could do a nut butter. You could do, I don't know, even just eat baby carrots and something else. You know, but something that's going to give you more protein or some quality fat or both, so that it bulks up. Like, the carrots are your fiber, right? I always say it, protein and fiber at every meal makes your moving fat no big deal. So the baby carrots are a fiber. So we need protein and quality fat to bulk that up so that it lasts us a little bit longer. This one I thought was just weird. It's a brown rice stir fry with vegetables and grilled chicken. I wish it was like vegetable and grilled chicken stir fry with brown rice. I know I'm getting picky, but I'm thinking of the average person who's going to read this and assume the main piece of the meal is the brown rice. And I think that's probably maybe what's missing here, is that I almost think that these answers require you to know more and modify it.
Yeah.
But I think if somebody's turning to this kind of a tool, they don't know.
Absolutely.
I don't know. Okay, so then at the end of it, right, because it's always going to give me a whole bunch of bullet points and with a sentence before and after. So it said, remember, this is just an example of a healthy menu for 1 week. It's important to vary your diet and include a wide variety of nutrient-dense foods to ensure you're getting all the essential vitamins and minerals your body needs. Additionally, be sure to adjust portion sizes to meet your individual calorie and nutrient needs. If people knew that, right? Again, it's sort of giving you the caveat, but I think most people don't necessarily know how to adjust that. And again, it's putting the emphasis on the calories, which we all know I don't like. All right, second to last question. So this was one you gave about sweet snack.
Oh, yeah. What's a healthy sweet snack?
Yeah. So it was like, what's a healthy option when I want something sweet or whatever? So ChatGPT says, when you want something sweet, there are plenty of healthy options to choose from. Here are a few ideas. I know you'll be shocked to find out it gave me 5. Yep. So fresh fruit was number 1. Fresh fruit is a great option when you want something sweet. Berries, apples, bananas, and oranges are all delicious and packed with nutrients like vitamins and fiber. I like what it said. I like that it gave specifics, but also I can imagine people going, yeah, that's not what I'm looking for, but thanks for playing.
Does it say smoothie?
Yes. Number 4 is smoothies. Smoothies made with fruit, Greek yogurt, and milk or nut milk can be a healthy way to satisfy a sweet craving. Be sure to avoid adding too much sweetener or high-calorie ingredients like ice cream or syrup. Great caveats on that. I wish it talked about adding protein, but whatever. It also said frozen fruit was number 5. And it said, right, try freezing grapes, blueberries, or sliced bananas for a sweet treat that's also rich in nutrients. I like that one. I'm not mad about it. Number 3 was Greek yogurt with honey, which also I feel like is sort of, Greek yogurt is a little bit of a can of worms. Like this is one where when I'm reading labels, with clients, Greek yogurt is always one that everybody asks about because there is so much variation that I feel like, whatever, it's ChatGPT. Of course, it's just saying this, but like that's one where you got to know what you're looking at. And then number 2 was dark chocolate. It says dark chocolate with a high percentage of cocoa, so 70% or more, can be a healthy way to satisfy your sweet tooth. Dark chocolate contains antioxidants and flavonols that may provide health benefits. So I like what it said there. I'm actually kind of surprised because there's been a thing a little bit in the news lately about dark chocolate having heavy metals.
Interesting. And
so I'm sort of surprised. Like, I wonder, ChatGPT is always learning, but maybe it hasn't gotten to that part of the news yet. I don't know. And then, of course, its closing sentence. Remember, while these options can be healthier than many traditional sweets, it's still important to enjoy them in moderation as part of a balanced diet. Thanks. I'm not mad about those answers.
It's pretty good.
I'm a fan. Like, I put this into the category of like some of my favorites. And then we asked it to build us a salad, right? So what's the healthiest salad you can have? What do you think it's going to say?
I think it's going to give you a variety of lettuces and adding in other veggies like cucumbers and carrots and avocado. And I'm torn if it's going to tell you to put no dressing or some kind of like olive oil based dressing.
Okay. So true ChatGPT form, there's a sentence, a list of 5 things, and then a closing sentence. So it says, the healthiest salad you can eat is one that's packed with a variety of fresh, nutrient-dense ingredients.
Shocker.
Right? Here are some key components to consider when building a healthy salad. 1, leafy greens. Choose a variety of dark leafy greens such as spinach, kale, arugula, or mixed greens. These greens are rich in vitamins, minerals, and fiber. Vegetables. Add a rainbow of vegetables such as bell peppers, carrots, tomatoes, cucumbers, and radishes. These vegetables are high in fiber, vitamins, and minerals. 3, protein. Add a source of lean protein such as grilled chicken, tofu, beans, lentils, or hard-boiled eggs. Protein is important for building and repairing tissues and can help you feel full and satisfied. 4, healthy fats. Add healthy fats such as avocado, nuts, seeds, or a drizzle of olive oil. These healthy fats can help you absorb nutrients and provide satiety. 5, dressing. Choose a healthy dressing such as a vinaigrette made with olive oil and vinegar, or squeeze of lemon juice. Avoid dressings that are high in sugar or saturated fat. By including a variety of these ingredients, you can create a delicious and nutrient-dense salad that can support overall health and well-being.
Call me ChatGPT.
Right? Have you been thinking about that the entire time I was reading?
No.
Oh, okay. I mean, I'm not mad.
Yeah.
But I also feel like if I'm asking for the healthiest salad ever,
you could have given me a salad, not 15 options.
Yeah. And like, give me one that has, like, tell me the vegetables with the highest amount of fiber, right? Give me, I don't know. It was okay. I'm not mad at any of its answers, but I sort of feel like, I don't know. It's like you're asking it for help and it gives you, in some areas, way less information that's actually helpful. And in other areas, way more that I could imagine reading that list and then feeling overwhelmed at the number of decisions I have to make.
Yep. Like I asked for the healthiest salad, not a bunch of healthy salad options.
Exactly. All right. All in. What's your take? What do you think?
I think it's pretty good. I think it's very generic. Usually it's going to be more helpful for somebody to work directly one-on-one with a health coach to figure out what's going to work for their body. ChatGPT isn't really going to tell you. I mean, we'll try putting in a demographic or your specifics about yourself and see if ChatGPT gives you any different answers. But I don't think the answers are going to be that different. And I don't think it will be custom enough for your body.
Agreed. And I also think the average person, especially if they've been making strides in these directions, is going to read those things and go, I already do all that.
Mm-hmm.
Or nothing there was new and I'm still not doing it.
Yep.
Right. So, I mean, that's where I'm at. I think ChatGPT is better with commands than questions, right? Like, write me a menu.
Mm-hmm.
Build me a smoothie that's high in protein, fiber, right? Like, I think that's when it's going to give you its best recommendations versus asking the questions. And then I think we basically can't take its recommendations at face value, right? You kind of need to hear what it's saying and then think about the nuance and real life. And
I bet it could write a good workout plan.
Maybe. Because based on its answers to our six-pack abs, it's going to give you a list of a bunch of things to do, like, I don't know. And it places an interesting emphasis on cardio.
Yeah.
That I think, I say it every time, right? I think it's a little overrated. I think in all irony, ChatGPT knows its own limits on its advice because,
consult a doctor.
Right. And I'm not sure that the average user knows all the things that we know here. Right. So I asked ChatGPT, what are the limits of the nutrition advice you're giving? And then it was like, oh, thank you. Finally. So it said, as an AI language model, there are certain limits to the nutrition advice I can give. Here are a few important considerations to keep in mind. You'll be shocked to know there were 4.
Oh.
Right. Personalization. While it can provide general nutrition advice, it's important to remember that everyone is unique and has different nutritional needs. The advice I give is not personalized to individual health conditions, medical history, or dietary restrictions. 2, medical advice. I'm not a substitute for medical advice. We aren't either, for the record. Salad with a side of fries, not a substitute for medical advice. If you have specific health concerns or questions about your health, it's important to consult a qualified healthcare professional. 3, current research. While I'm trained on a vast amount of specific data, my knowledge is limited by the data that's currently available. As new research is published, it's important to continue to learn and adapt to changing nutrition recommendations. 4, culture and personal preferences. Nutrition advice can also be influenced by cultural and personal preferences. General guidance on healthy eating habits and food choices can also be influenced by factors such as cultural traditions, personal preferences, and socioeconomic status. Overall, the nutrition advice I provide is intended to be general guidance to support a healthy lifestyle. It's important to take into consideration individual needs, medical history, and cultural and personal preferences when making dietary choices.
Well, at least this AI is very self-aware.
I know, right? I mean, frankly, this is why I started my practice and why I started the podcast, because ChatGPT is great at teaching all the same things that everybody has been telling us for years that actually isn't what we all need to know.
Mm-hmm.
I think if it were just as simple as reading what ChatGPT gave us, we wouldn't have the epidemic of disease and illness that we do.
True.
All right. This naturally then, I think, brings us to our nutrition nugget. So on Friday, everybody, we're going to talk about motivation, specifically a tool called NSDR to help us harness motivation. Because if we're going to follow the recommendations from ChatGPT, or really do what we know we're supposed to do, right? We need to have some of those pieces in place. So tune in on Friday for our nutrition nugget, NSDR for motivation. Well, as always, everybody, I'm your host, Jenn Trepeck. Connect with me on Instagram or all social media. I'm at Jenn Trepeck, JENNTREPECK. Website is A Salad with a Side of Fries. Wherever you want to go, website or your favorite social media platform, please send a message. Share your ideas for episodes or nutrition nuggets, your key takeaways. What questions do you have? This is also the easiest way to learn more about working with me as your health coach. Of course, if you are not already a member, join our membership. This is your personal invitation. I'd love to have you. Go to glow.fm/salad with a side of fries. You'll get this week's recipe for the homemade chicken tenders with everything bagel seasoning over salad, your quarterly live one-on-one. And I just have to say, this membership, above all, it's really just supporting yourself and your health as well as this community. So we'd love to have you. And Summer, thank you again for being here.
My pleasure.
So until next week, everybody, remember, whether it's Google, social media, or even the latest artificial intelligence tool like ChatGPT, we can't outsource our health. Even with what seems like sound guidance, there are always additional factors to consider. So if you find the guidance you're given from these tools isn't working, it doesn't mean you're a failure. It means you're human. And that is why we're here.
Well, friends, that's it for today's episode of Salad with a Side of Fries. Congratulations for making yourself and your health a priority. Thanks so much for joining us. Be sure to click subscribe or follow on your favorite podcast platform. Share us with a friend, and we'll be back next week. Always remember, you deserve it, and you are worth it. Happy healthy.